And up next, we got a pretty explosive fight with Chris Duncan taking on Yanal Ashmouz. And Chris Duncan, he got his first UFC win in his last fight. He went in there against Omar Morales, got the job done in a decision that was pretty close, but I feel like Duncan edged it. He got the knockdown, and he was able to control the grappling and wrestling in a large portion of the fight. And Yanal Ashmouz, he didn't need the judges. He barely needed any time to get his win in his first UFC fight. Went in there against another guy, London, UK guy, and knocked him out in the first round pretty quickly, less than a minute. So he's looking to replicate that performance or a similar one, get another win in London here. Both these guys actually fought on the last London card and got victories. And so we'll see what happens. But Chris Duncan, I feel like he should go the path of wrestling here like he did against Omar Morales. And a lot of people are looking back at his previous fights, and I do think that he did make some major improvements in his first UFC fight. His defense was a lot better. Seemed like he was a lot calmer, and he wasn't just winging that right hand and brawling as much as he usually does, and being a little bit more defensively responsible, which led to a lot lower volume, but he also didn't get clipped, and his chin is a little bit questionable at this point. So it was a better game plan, and then he used the wrestling, which is what I think he should do here. He has good strength against the cage. He can take guys down, good double leg, and then on top he has good top control. He isn't really someone that does a lot of damage or looks for submissions, but can grind you out. His cardio is on point. And then if he has to, he can dig in that back pocket and show that grittiness. We all saw that fight with Charlie Campbell in the Contender Series where he looked like he was in a lot of trouble and then came back with a big right hand that knocked out Campbell with one shot. So Duncan, I think, even on the feet, is a little bit more diverse. Like, he will throw a little bit better hand combos. I think his punches are a little bit straighter, and he has a little bit better kicks. It's just his chin is a little questionable, and Ashmouz is a guy that is very explosive. So I think wrestling him, taking away some of his power, and controlling him if you can for portions of the fight will be the smartest thing to do. And Duncan has the gas tank to do that. And for Ashmouz, he's, like I said, to me, he's kind of like a guy that he reminds me of like a Spike Carlisle, where he isn't that skilled, but his power, explosiveness, athleticism make up for all that, and he can kind of just explode in sometimes and land these big overhand bombs, big looping punches, and knock guys out. Very explosive, closing the distance. And then he is decent at, like, he's good at timing. Like, when you throw kicks at him, he'll jump in, and like his last fight, he caught the kick and then got the knockout win off that. And opportunistic finisher, but he can be backed up and be kind of low volume, and if you can feign and back him up, you can get him to overextend and wing shots and then take him down. And his wrestling defense isn't that good, but he's very strong, so he's hard to hold down. He'll keep getting back up, and then he can take you down too. And when he gets on top, he can control you, work his ground and pound, and he has a very good gas tank. So he's kind of just like a Hulk. He's a beast that he can knock you out, and he has the cardio. And even though he's not that skilled anywhere, it's like his danger factor is there on the feet. And when you grapple with him, he has the strength to negate his wrestling deficiencies. And then when he gets on top, he can hold you down. So he's a fairly difficult guy to deal with, but I think Chris Duncan is just a little bit more technical. I think he's going to be the bigger guy. And I think he's going to win a decision in this one using his wrestling and kind of mixing it up. Ashmouz is tough. I don't necessarily think he's going to get finished. So I do believe Chris Duncan by decision at plus 250 is a decent play. And I got Chris Duncan in this one. I think he's going to get the job done, mix it up, and go 2-0 in the UFC.